All right. Welcome to Froggy and Friends podcast. It's a podcast for the Frogman and Frogman's Finds website and store, where we chat about toys and photography and entertainment, pop culture, whatever might be on our mind. I'm Froggy, the host. This is Jaden, who now is on video as F1 driver hacker. And we got Tiger on the bottom.
Yep, that's me.
How are y'all doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right.
How about yourself?
Just got done with bedtime, reading about Paw
Oh, nice. All
Patrol,
right.
visiting the dinos. So I feel like I come into this space like very frazzled. But yeah, it's good to be here and hang out.
Yeah, kind of winding
Oh,
down.
of course.
Yeah. Yeah. So the format of our show that we're still kind of figuring out, that we're going to go with is I'll do some store updates, things that happened this past week in the store, things that we might have gotten in. We'll transition into some topics about toys. And then from there, we'll talk about entertainment, pop culture, things that we might have been enjoying this week. So yeah, this week in the store. It was Star Wars Day this past Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, I guess, from when this will come out. So we ran a Star Wars sale, which, um, yeah, I mean, I don't know how much like behind the curtain it is, but sales are really just an excuse to like get rid of stuff. And so Mrs. Frog has been like hounding me about organizing a lot of our stock, especially our Star Wars stuff. Yeah, I feel like the way that Hasbro sells Star Wars stuff and the way they pack them is really annoying, and so there's like a lot of random stuff everywhere. So yeah, it was a good opportunity to move a lot of that, get rid of like the onesies and twosies, as we like to call it. So that was good. Um, I put up a lot of my own stuff, sold a lot of my own stuff. Tiger actually put up a lot of his stuff this week too, which is cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we had so far we have Tiger and two other people, kind of regulars of the store that have put up their stuff. And I think it's gone pretty well so far, which is cool.
Yeah, definitely. I've gotten rid of some stuff and got some more to sell too, so it's working out well.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you ever need to,
Yeah, I've been seeing a
Jaden,
lot
of
of good stuff
course.
on there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Honestly, I might take advantage.
yeah, it's nice. Like, yeah, I think we just like as a store, we have like such a great group of people all together, and so being able to kind of pass it along to each other and know it's going to be in good hands. Like one of the things that I sold this week was my black Hush Batman from Mafex, which I've
Hmm.
bought and sold now twice. And so letting go of it again was like really painful. But yeah, I mean, knowing that it's going to go to, um, a friend and go into some good hands, I think it makes it better. But yeah,
No, yeah. I
so
mean, it's
good.
always hard to make cuts, especially with figures that you've been emotionally attached to. I know there's only been one figure that I really regretted because I try to stick to my rule of um if I don't take a picture of it, or if I don't take, if I take one picture and I have no inspiration to take another picture of it, then it goes, and I have to live by that. But there's only one figure that I have really regretted that with, and it's this guy right back
Hmm.
here, the Hulkbuster
Oh
30.
yeah.
I uh I sold it because I couldn't. I physically can't fit him in pictures, but man, it's such a good figure.
Can you bring them into frame if it's not too hard of a reach?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing about it is like the space. Eventually, like you've got so many boxes, if you keep those to resell or you've got all these dios and figures and it
Super
adds up.
focused.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so pretty. It's such a pretty
Yeah,
figure.
yeah, that's sick.
It's
The
he's a big boy.
Beefy.
Not gonna lie.
you can open it up, right?
And of course, yeah, you can open him up, and he's got all the LED effects too. He's got one under his chin. if I can activate it. There it is.
Oh
And
yeah,
his shoulders get out of the way so that you can, if of course, doing this with one hand is a lot harder to do. But yeah, those get out of the way. And then, oh god, if I can actually do it, I may have just lost some parts.
oh
But yeah, he opens up and the Iron Man can go inside.
that's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
such a
Oh,
cool
it's
figure.
Yeah, super detailed.
it's
Man.
one of my favorites of all time. And the there's a bunch of different variants around that have different sizes and stuff. They're the SH Figure Arts one is like $300 MSRP.
Hmm.
There's a Comic Cave one, which is also I think $300 to $400. I can't remember. But this one is 250, and he is a little bigger than most. I think he fits really well with the Marvel Select Hulk. So yeah, he's been my definitive Hulkbuster.
Yeah, that's a beauty. Man, thinking about stuff that I've sold and regretted, I think probably that Batman comes in second, but my number one is the Mezco Atticus Doom. Um,
I want that one so
the
bad.
Yeah, the original like is such a good figure, so much presence, so much personality. Um, and I was like so much, I want to say like less talented as a photographer, but maybe I just was still kind of exploring my own like creativity as a photographer, as a toy photographer back then. So I didn't really um, take advantage of it. But then, I feel like I'm always buying and like I'm always selling my stuff so I can buy new stuff. And so I was like, well, I know Atticus Doom is worth a lot, so I feel like I'm ready to pass him on because I felt like I'd taken like, all the pictures that I could of him, which I didn't. Um, but yeah, it was before Frogman and I sold it and then he got lost in the mail. And
Oh yeah,
so I
I
gave
remember
the money
that.
back to that guy who's our, me and Jaden's friend. So I didn't make any money from
Yeah,
it and it got lost in the mail. It's so painful.
Man, that's awful.
Yeah. It's like one of my biggest
yeah, those are
collecting
fun.
regrets. Sucks. Anyways, so yeah, if you haven't checked out before, yeah, we have I think an ever-growing collection of finds that we call them because Frogman finds. We find kind of these um usually figures that have been opened. I know I think Tiger, you've listed a couple that may have not been open. The other person who listed a lot of theirs weren't open. So yeah, it's just a nice way, a nice marketplace to kind of buy and sell with people you trust. You don't have to worry about like the 10, 15% sales fee. So did a lot of that this week. And then we coming down the pipeline, I think it'll be a good way to segue into our next topic, but we have the X-Force Archangel Marvel Legends coming in probably early next week, and then also the Warpath and X-23 two-pack, also X-Force that'll be coming in, and then um, the Black Suit Spider-Man, the Bully Maguire, is supposed to be coming soon too, which
Oh yeah.
is exciting. I don't think you saw it, Jaden, but there was a photographer on Instagram that so the Bully Maguire has like a symbiote head that's like you can attach to the neck and it's like coming up like around this side. And that photographer took that accessory and then put it under like a what do you call
A
it,
glass
Tiger?
dome.
Yeah, like with a specimen and then had I think it was Mr. Fantastic and Spider-Man like examining it. It was super cool.
Huh. That's interesting.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I need to find a way to put stuff up on the screen so I can show pictures. I'll have to figure that out before next week. Um,
Oh
but yeah,
yeah.
so those
Well,
things should be coming soon. I feel like you probably know how to do that, Jaden, but we'll figure it out.
Maybe. Yeah, I just don't have my my thing set up for it right now. Otherwise, I would. But
Yeah, I'll tinker
yeah.
around, um, but yeah, I was talking to my sales rep about it, and we feel like Hasbro's probably just pushing everything they got in the pipeline like out as quick as they can, just
Mm.
because with things changing day to day, it's like if it's in
Oh
America,
yeah.
let's just sell it. And so I think at least the expert stuff is supposed to come in August, and it's coming now at the beginning of May. But yeah, so the first topic that we had, for toys was again tariffs. I think it's something we'll be talking about every week until it hopefully goes away. Um, but yeah, what have you guys been seeing kind of happening out in the community with that stuff?
Didn't you want to?
I mean, yeah, that there's so much happening out there right now. That especially because we're in contact with a lot of people who are maybe not necessarily from America too, who are affected by this. Where there's Marvel Legends that are being exported, and it's this weird situation of it goes from China to the United States back to them, and there's import fees on every single level of it. So there's just no hope for them at all. It's a crazy
Yeah,
situation, honestly.
it's rough.
Yeah.
It's yeah, we're recording this on Thursday, but I feel like one of the big things that was in the toy news. I don't know if you both saw it. I assume so, but um, it sounded like Trump didn't exactly know what Mattel was, and so he said
Oh.
he was gonna put 100% tariffs on Mattel
On the
because they didn't
country.
want to make their because they didn't want to make the toys in America. Um, just yeah, insanity, man.
Ridiculous.
It's especially
I
with that
think a
whole
lot of
thing, like,
sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think a lot of companies, especially American companies, are starting to make their statements and make their price changes and stuff because we're at the tail end of when the ports are basically gonna dry up and prices are going up. No more imports from AliExpress or Temu, that kind of thing. But yeah, go ahead, Jaden. Sorry.
No, no, no. I mean, that's a great point. I mean, as I was saying last time, it's sort of the rise and fall of the Chinese manufacturers in terms of toys, and the third party people who are putting in real effort into making really beautiful figures that are unlicensed, but not by any means bootlegs or knockoffs or anything like that. They're just getting caught in the crossfire and really suffering as a result. I mean, some of these companies don't they make hardly any profit to begin with. Everything is a risk. So I think we're just gonna not see any more of those, honestly.
Yeah,
And
they're
who
gonna dry up a
knows
lot.
about the people who are already in production with those things. I know I got a couple. Like there was a really nice Mezco style from the Batman movie, Riddler,
Hmm, hmm.
and um that was going to come out. It was supposed to come out uh like first second quarter this year. But as the tariff situation is just unfolding, I have no idea if it's ever going to come up. It's just
Yeah, it's a lot. Um, I think the people that I think of specifically is like the Kickstarters that were successful a year and a half or two
mm,
years ago. Like I know, gosh, I can't remember his name right now, but the guy who did the Biblical Adventures, I think he
oh
said
yeah.
in a Instagram post it was like upwards of like 50 grand. That was like his tariff price just to bring the stuff over to America, which I
Unreal.
mean, I think it sucks for whoever that may be, but knowing that his kind of passion was to make those like detailed religious figures to be used in like churches, religious schools as like a educational object or, educational tool, like to eat that cost just to bring it over here sucks.
Yeah.
And then I just was seeing, I think they're called the Luminary, like Meta something. They have really cool
Oh,
looking
I know what
figures.
you're talking about. I can't
Hmm.
remember the name.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but they like I think one of their um like front facing figures that they show in a lot of their advertising is like the blue guy is made of like ice. But yeah, they posted I think like back in April like we have 15,000 figures ready, but we can't bring them out of China.
Mm,
That sucks.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what it's gonna look like. Today is May 8th. Supposedly Hasbro is gonna release new pricing tomorrow. I
Yeah,
think there
that's all
was
right.
like yeah, it was like on Hasbro Pulse, and then I think on Big Bad also they were saying like lock in your pre-order pricing before the 9th.
Yeah, that's what a lot of these companies are coming out with. Funko, Mondo, Hasbro, Mattel, all of them, like within the last week, made a statement saying that like prices are going up and try to lock in as much as you can before it, takes effect. Anything that's in warehouse right now obviously won't be affected, but stuff down the pipeline will definitely get increased.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
I think it was on Amazon. They started updating their pricing. So like I think everything was increasing by like $5 or so for at least Hasbro products. Like a regular Marvel Legends was going up to $30. The vintage collection Star Wars figure, which is the 3 and 3/4, is like $22 now. Deluxe figures are 65. Like, it's at what point?
Man.
So yeah, like I wanted to ask you guys, like at what point do you feel like too much is going to be too much for you, for like the collecting community? Like at what point is that breaking point? Like it's like I always hear as these like prices continue going up, you keep hearing people like, "Oh, I'm gonna be out. Like if this happens, I'm out." Like I don't know. What do you feel like is your breaking point? What have you been seeing in the community?
I mean,
Hmm.
everybody's got a different breaking point. I mean, there were people who were leaving Marvel Legends when they first did their first increase to $22
Mhm.
way back, 2 3 years ago. Um, and that was their breaking point for that, and they said never again, and they left the hobby forever. And to for them that was completely valid. I mean,
Mhm.
if they didn't want to spend that money, they didn't want to spend that money, and nobody can fault them for it.
For
If
sure.
people want to spend that much money, then people want to spend that much money, and nobody can fault them for it. But it's a tough decision to say I'm gonna stop forever. Like I've seen a lot of people say like, "Oh, I'm done. I have enough figures. I'm not gonna go back." And then they release your perfect figure, and you come back and pay a premium price for it. But it's a tough decision. I stopped collecting Marvel Legends a while ago. I pretty much exclusively collect import figures right now, and for me, there are a couple brands who have kept the prices as low as possible, and have been doing that really well. So I think uh, a tariff on those isn't gonna probably stop me very much from collecting. It's instead of getting one figure a month, maybe I'll go down to one figure every 1.5 or 2 months. But I'm already you know slow on the collecting anyways, so slowed down by necessity because of prices anyways. So not gonna affect me too much, but I know others. We'll
Yeah,
see.
definitely. I'm seeing a lot of people that are maybe lower income and just hobbyists, like just say that they're done, or that maybe they'll buy a couple pre-orders if something comes out that they really like, kind of like Jaden said. But yeah, I think a surprisingly high amount of just low income people that like to get a little Marvel Legend here or there are just gonna like tap out. They'll just be done. And you can't really blame people, and you can't really blame the companies for doing things the way that they are because all this was just useless. It was just no reason for us to be at this point right now. So it's hard to, you know, it's that tug, of like, I don't know, like things could get better soon. I don't want to, miss out on something that I maybe like, but I'm also scaling back a little bit myself and just kind of want to wait to see how things go. I've got some pre-orders on the pipeline, but I may, depending on like what the price jump is, I may just cancel them or whatever. But there's definitely some stuff I'm gonna keep, like Jaden was saying. There's some companies that have done a pretty good job of, staying relatively reasonable. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna stop collecting Mezco or Gucci anytime soon.
Yeah, I think what's nice about those like import companies is that they're releasing a lot less. It's not like you get a wave of Yamaguchi figures where there's going to be like 8 figures that are released at once. You get one every couple months, so I think that is nice. But yeah, I mean, I know there's so many collectors, and at least in terms of like certain lines, or at least before I started the store, there's so many of us that feel like, okay, if I see it in store, then I'll pick it up because I don't want to deal with shipping and whatever. Like if I see it in store, if it gets marked down, like I'll pick it up. And um, I think it kind of depends on where you're at, like geographically, at least in the States. But for here in California, there's nothing on the shelves. Um, I mean, at least in terms of collectibles, like there's always going to be, stuff for my kids. At least, I mean, I can't say that for sure, but at least right now there are. But there's no Marvel Legends on the shelf. It's just like old Black Series stuff. The NECA section is like a disaster. Um, and I feel like, yeah, as prices continue to increase, like it doesn't make sense for big box stores to put them on the shelves if they're not going to move or if they're going to be stolen. And so it definitely, yeah, I think as you both were saying, at the very least, you really have to kind of hone in your collecting, um, which is tough. I think there was the kind of enjoyment of, with Marvel Legends, and even the build-a-figure kind of approach doesn't happen that often anymore. But I think when prices were cheaper and they made more build-a-figures, it's like, I'll just grab the whole wave and I'll make the build-a-figure. But that becomes more and more difficult these days.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
times are changing for sure.
But I think on that note, and maybe to bring us up out of the pits of despair, um, I'm sure because of these factors, and I'm sure a lot of other things, we have been seeing a lot of more of those like third-party figures that are coming out of Hong Kong or China. Um, and I think it's been so fascinating for me to see. I think of like Medi Toys, formerly Memory Toys, Beast Deities, formerly Kong Studio, or the other way around. There's like the Snail Shell Girls. But yeah, so is that have either of you kind of dipped your toes into the realm of those, like, doesn't even necessarily need to be knockoffs, but just these third-party companies?
Yeah, I mean, there's one recent one. I wish I had it here on my desk, but I don't. There was that Yamaguchi style Deadpool. I mean, not Deadpool. It was based on the Deadpool body, but the Daredevil.
Hmm.
Um, and there's a whole bunch of those, like the ink blot figure, which is Rorschach from Watchmen,
Mm,
and like those. I tend to gravitate more towards the Mezco style, third party stuff. But oh yeah, they've been really killing it.
I know that that Inkblot figure is like a almost like a grail especially I think in the Mezco community because it's such a good figure.
Oh yeah, it's really solid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tiger, I know
and
you
I
picked
mean,
up one recently.
yeah, I got a CT Wolverine recently. I don't know if that's in the realm of what we're talking about,
Yeah.
but um, yeah, amazing. Like the price to quality ratio on those figures. Like I don't remember what I got that for exactly, like 24 bucks or 25 bucks or something, and it is just like a high quality Wolverine that's got, a couple head sculpts. It's got clawed hands and non-clawed hands, and it's really solid. Like it's really hard to knock one of the CT releases. They're just very, very solid for KOs.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like a crazy
The
looking figure.
CT anti-venom. My camera's not really wanting to focus on anything but my face today. But yeah, I agree 100%. CT has been really killing it. I generally I don't like pricing on Mesco, so I'm not usually a Mesco customer. But I mean, sorry, Aphex rather.
Mm-hmm.
So a lesser quality Mafex is, uh, an actual, you know, and it's not, from the sounds of it, it's not, too much less of a dip in quality, and they're pretty fantastic. I mean, it's filling a
Yeah.
market.
Oh,
Yeah, they've got a
totally.
nice selection too. They're coming out with that Gambit. Um, what was the other one that they're coming out with? What was it? The Spider Punk. They just revealed
Mm-hmm.
pics of the Spider Punk that they're gonna do. I know a lot of that's like a fan favorite character, so a lot of people will get that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I really hope it's something that continues to thrive. Whether they find a way to get their stuff here on the cheap or whatever. Because yeah, I mean, like we were talking about, toys are getting harder and harder to afford, and as you said, Jaden, they're totally filling like a gap in the market where it's like, hey, we're gonna give you a figure that should be $100 for like 25 at, if you know, at most maybe, and the quality is gonna be really really good still. So I think that's yeah, I know like that Mafex Gambit is hard to find. It's hard to come by. It's super expensive on the aftermarket. Um, and yeah, I have the figure arts Spider Punk, which is a great figure. So yeah, I think it'll be good. And then I know too, Tiger, you just got one. I think it was your first snail shell figure, right?
No, I've got a few snail shell, but I got the zombie Grisa snail shell recently. Little zombie girl, you can like pop her arm off and
Hmm.
make her, you know. Uh, she's fun. She's a little. She's got a lot of hair, so she's a little like
Hmm.
top heavy, harder to pose a little bit. But yeah, no, I've got some other shell too, and articulation is on point. I've got that bunny Eileen.
Oh,
Um,
that's right. That's right.
yeah, she poses really great. Um, fits in a lot of anime collections, Hatsune Miku kind of stuff. Like uh, they're cool. I like them a lot. They come with cool accessories. You can move their eyes around, with the little pin or
Hmm.
whatever. Um, a lot, a lot for what you pay for. It's good quality.
What is there like another brand that you can compare, like in terms of the like plastic feel and like the articulation, so that they could be similar to?
Like Husky or Frontline Chaos, maybe, kind of in those realms.
Do you still have your Frontline
the Joy
Chaos,
Toys.
Jaden?
Oh yeah, I really like the Joy Toys. They've really been killing it with their 112 scale figures, and I it's also really nice to I sort of missed the wave on their uh army builder figures.
Mm.
I think it was a whiskey and vermouth were
Oh
the
yeah.
two, and they they really they're doing some pretty innovative stuff in 112, especially for like an OC line, and it's nice to see that, because you usually, and in Joy Toy specifically, they've done this for a while in 118th scale. And you see this a lot in 118th scale, where there's just like OC characters. They look cool. There's like a whole little universe that you can dive into that doesn't really have much backstory, but you just sort of create it, messing with the
Hmm.
figures. And um it's eh, yeah, I mean, it's for especially a photographer, it's just like an endless world of possibilities.
Totally. Totally. I think that's like what interests me, and I'm sure I think yeah, like you were saying, Tiger, for like the snail shell stuff, it's kind of like a generic like anime. So it's not like you're like I have Hatsune Miku and I'm gonna put her in this scenario. It's like this is a cool looking anime girl, and I'm gonna I can do this and stage this picture. Um, Nostalgia Unboxed is a YouTube channel reviewer. He's been reviewing some of the Husky figures lately. I think there's what I think their newest one is she looks like a 19th century anime fencer girl with like the
Is like the Catboy
billowing
one?
um she does have like short hair. Oh, she has like one of her hair pieces has like horns coming out. They look like spectral horns, and then she has like
Oh, thinking of a different one.
that one too though. I know what you're talking about. But she has like a skull that's like a shield on her forearm, and then it's like kind of like a billowing blouse and coat,
Mm,
which is super cool, but it's like sold out, and so it's already like skyrocketing on the aftermarket,
yeah, figures.
which I think is like one of those interesting things about like third party. I think maybe besides Joy Toy, because I think they're pretty established, but like with the Inkblot, like once those figures are released, they never make them again.
Yeah.
So it's like I think that's one of the fun, exciting things about toy collecting, but also really frustrating. It's like the FOMO can hit so hard, and especially when you don't have the funds to buy it, it's like, well, I'm just never gonna get it.
Yeah, if
Yep.
it's just like really small batch or something, little line of, some company that isn't that big. It's just what are you gonna do? They're just not gonna make anymore. They're not a huge production company, they don't have access to that kind of stuff. So yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of
Yeah.
reissues, there's a couple that are going on. The one that I'm most excited about is the Yamaguchi cable doing the
Oh yeah.
Ro Revoltech. I think maybe it's just their Amazing Yamaguchi line, but yeah, they've been doing like 1.5 versions of some of their older figures. Jaden, I know that you have cable. I would love to hear your thoughts on him as we kind of the rest of us hope to grab that reissue.
So, Cable, I like to tote as the first of the new generation Yamaguchis, the ones that like sort of propelled them into sort of the mainstream, where it was less the robotic looking figures that people are sort of split on, with gappy joints and stuff like that. Um and really like sleek, streamlined, and yet still have the articulation, because there was one figure that they did before where it was like pretty sleek, pretty streamlined. It was the War Machine that they did,
Mm,
and it's a good figure. It's really restricted in terms of articulation, and it's also very fiddly with all the attachments that he comes with and everything. But it's with Cable, everything just sort of fit. All the pieces came together, and it was the first that really launched it into being solidly um, for everyone, and as opposed to just a niche group of collectors. So
I remember,
that's my thoughts. I know it's
yeah.
hyping him up quite a bit, but it is honestly one of my favorite Yamaguchi figures.
No, yeah, I remember The Amazing. I think yeah, I don't know when that cable originally released, but I remember seeing the YouTube thumbnail from The Amazing for his review of that cable. It was cable up against like a red futuristic like cyber bike. And I was like, wow, that figure looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, still never got it. So do you know like are they making significant changes or updates in like the 1.5 versions?
So so far the 1.5 versions just have different accessories, maybe a slight different paint job. We saw with the Deadpool 2.0 1.5s, or 2.5, however you want to say that. The paint was a little darker. It was like a little. It felt a little richer in places, but it was just all new accessories. They fixed, maybe some QC issues, but otherwise it's the complete same molds, same articulation, same everything.
Pretty minor changes.
Yeah, yeah. Although I mean, there was a significant increase to the uh accessories that he came with. So,
Hmm.
where he came with already a lot. He came with like two sai, two swords, the holster, the little bomb that he comes with, a bunch of alternate eyes, a couple alternate heads, a bunch of hands, and some guns that were like guns,
Hmm.
and then some large knives. They have all of those in the 1 point or the 2.5, plus a chimichanga,
Hmm.
plus real guns, plus uh, new swords, plus a whole bunch of other stuff. Like it's a significant portion. And they did even more on the Joker, and it's really crazy the amount of stuff that they're packing into the 1.5 releases, especially because there's also the because they've been doing pre-order bonuses, and it's been exclusively for Japanese
Hmm.
retailers. So you can only get them certain places, and the incentive there is so great with the exclusive piece, plus all the new accessories, plus all the old accessories, plus the fixing of the QC issues, plus maybe a fresh new coat of paint. It's compelling even for somebody who has both of the 2.0 Deadpools. I had to seriously debate whether I needed two more. Like it's a lot. It's
Yeah,
That
they're
does feel nice.
yeah, they're super cool. Have you picked up any of them, Tiger?
Yeah, I've got that Joker re-release, and yeah, he comes with a lot of stuff, guns and knives and all kinds of stuff. And I'm super excited that they're redoing the Deathstroke and Arkham Knight as
Hmm.
well, because those are like those two in the Cable are like my top three most wanted like re-releases from them. So I'm getting them all. So I'm pretty happy about that. Now they just need to do Psylocke, right?
Mm.
That'd be nice.
Psylocke is. I feel like Psylocke would benefit more from a 2.0 than a 1.5.
Mm.
Um, Probably one of the, if not the worst, amazing Yamaguchi that there is, just because she's so unbelievably fragile and pointy.
Mm.
Um, it's it, luckily I haven't broken her. It's just it feels like every time I take her out, I will. So
Yeah, well, she
I
needs one then.
yeah, it just it feels like because her hands are so incredibly small, and they have such a little peg hole that holds the like effects that go in that she holds, and those are also incredibly stiff plastic. So you need to like just sort of angle it because the piece it doesn't go around the hand; it goes over the hand. So
Mm.
you need to like angle it in such a way so that the outer piece goes over just slightly and then the inner piece goes into the hand. And it's terrifying every single time.
Very delicate.
I would break
Yeah.
it for sure on the first try.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's funny because like I feel like the characters, the Marvel characters that are in Marvel Rivals are like, a lot of them are already popular, but they're like even more popular, I think, because of that game. And like Psylocke is such a great character that she doesn't have any like really good modern figures right now. Yeah, there's like the old Yamaguchi. There's the Mayfix where her skin is like orange. Um,
Yeah, it's not great.
do you have that one?
Yeah, yeah. Articulation's a little wonky, and this doesn't look quite as good as it could.
Yeah. So I mean, she could definitely benefit from a new figure. The Marvel Legend ones even like are fairly old. The most recent one is that she's like the scary face. She looks like a banshee or something. Um, but yeah, it would be nice to get a 2.0 of her. Um, One that I know you've always kind of sold me on as like a dark horse, Jaden, is there the Yamaguchi Wonder Woman is another one that I would love to see get a
Oh yeah.
refresh.
She would also benefit from a 2.0. I think cloth good capes on her would be incredible. Um, I did a kit bash of her with a bunch of Mezco accessories from the Mezco
Mm,
Wonder Woman, and I think she looks absolutely fantastic. That's like the perfect combination for me, and 100% definitive Wonder Woman. I haven't ever bought a Wonder Woman after that, honestly. Um, yeah, just perfect. And going back to the Marvel Rivals thing, um, one of the things I've I've heard is that every single Yamaguchi figure that has been released looks like the Marvel Rivals kit.
mhm.
It's uncanny how similar they look. Like
Yeah, it's
uh,
like,
down to the Monster Venom and like
mhm,
the like distinguished face of all of the characters that they have, and like how
mhm.
uh, like rough and like
Yeah,
not
it's like,
aggressive but like actiony, like they all look
mhm.
very actiony.
Yeah, I think yeah, Yamaguchi and then the Marvel Rivals like style, they totally line up. And I think that's like people kind of were turned off on Yamaguchi a little bit at first because it's like it's big, it's like exaggerated, it's like angular and sharp, but it's also kind of very comic-y, very dynamic. And yeah, that's exactly the style that Rivals went with. So good for them.
Yeah.
Good for Yamaguchi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, speaking about like a definitive Wonder Woman, that also is like so frustrating. Yeah, I feel like yeah, the Mezco accessories and soft goods look good, but the articulation's not there.
Mm.
Yamaguchi, obviously the articulation's there, but like the yeah, proportions are still a little bit off. Um, Todd released one good Wonder Woman and like was impossible to get immediately when it was released. Um, yeah. It's just another figure that you're like, this should be a thing that just exists, but it doesn't, which is weird.
Yeah, I mean, just the cycle of female figures not getting enough love, unfortunately. Even one as iconic as Wonder Woman, and I feel like it's a shame, really.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, she's got like
Which,
recent movies.
Yeah.
Like she's still popular.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's so many good characters out there who like people want action figures of, and would pay good money to have an amazing, one that comes to mind that everybody flocks to whenever there's a new figure of is She-Hulk.
hmm
Like, there's so many opportunities to make a good She-Hulk. And there have been a couple, decent ones. It's just I haven't really had my definitive She-Hulk yet.
hmm
But I'll buy any She-Hulk figures that are out there. Like, I absolutely love the character. I love the TV show. I love the yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I know that neither of you have watched Thunderbolts yet, but like Yelena is like she's
Oh yeah.
hands down like inarguably the lead of the movie. Um, Actually, while I was watching it in theater, I was like, this cements like without a doubt that Florence Pugh is like she's got the stuff. Like she can carry a movie on her back and run the entire length of the field. Like she crushes it. But Yeah, like I would kill. I mean, I ordered the 2 pack for the Thunderbolts, but I would love like just the Yelena figure. Having a good Black Widow figure, like that was a relatively new thing, at least in Marvel Legends. Um, but I think going back to like third-party figures, I think that's arguably like one of their strengths. Like I know. Um,
Mhm.
we kind of like to poke fun, at least at like, especially the snail shell figures, that they're like kind of pervy or like gooner figures, but like they're making, and like Husky, like especially, they're making these female figures that are cool, well articulated, like come with a ton of accessories, have like, a lot of like badass kind of presence to them that just like is not happening in any of the other like big companies.
Yeah.
for sure.
I know my collection of my very small collection of Hot Toys came out of that
Mm,
reason as well. Like there's no good Nebula figures out there,
hmm
especially the Reaver clothing ones from Endgame. And Sylvie, like every single one of
hmm
them looked off, and I couldn't find a good Sylvie figure. So I had to go for 6th scale for those just to get
Yeah.
like two really great female characters that I really love.
Yeah, I mean, Hot Toys, they crush it. I feel like there was another recent
Oh yeah.
female figure that was really, really good. I just can't think of it now, but yeah, I mean that totally makes sense. Like easily definitive versions of them.
Oh yeah.
So, um, in our last kind of closing section, I know when we were like getting ready to record earlier today, we were talking about music, which I don't know if which came first. If it was F1, Formula One, and then me talking about Blackpink, or if it was the other way around. Um, but I feel like because as we found out today, there's a lot of people in our community that enjoy Formula One. I feel like you got to fill me in, Jaden. You've already told me kind of generally how it works. Like what's going on right now? Like, is there a season? Like, why are some
So
people like,
yeah,
yeah, what's going on right now?
the season is happening right now. It's we're 4 races in, I want to say. There was China, then hang on. I believe we're 4 races in, and then 2 sprints. Um and so it's and there's 24 in a season, so we're still very early on in the season. Really anything could happen. And as we saw from the previous year, that really holds true because for the first time in like 20 years, 25 years, I think, McLaren won a constructors championship. And they have just been doing pretty awful for the last 25 years. And they, 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 in 2024, they just really, really brought it. Like obviously, at the end of 2023, they were a contender, and they uh, um, were actually challenging Red Bull. But for the 3 years before that, Red Bull and Max Verstappen have just like run away with every single win by like he would come in first, the next person in second would be like 30 seconds behind him.
Wow.
It was not even close.
Getting smoked.
Yeah, it was bad. And that would just lead to a lot of it wasn't all that exciting, just watching win after win after win, and 2024 everybody started catching up, and 2025 is insane. I like it's the time to watch, it's you can get in, you can watch. There's as we like to say, 19 drivers and Lance Stroll on the on the grid. Um, and yeah, now the Formula One fans will get it. And there's 10 teams, so 2 drivers a team. And they all have their own personalities, their own strengths, their own weaknesses, and each team builds their own car based on specifications, which is where the formula comes in. And sometimes that car is good, sometimes that car is bad, and sometimes the driver makes the bad car good, sometimes the driver makes the good car bad. So
Mm.
and then there's also the teams that do the strategy, which also can affect performance. Notably right now, Ferrari is not exactly the strongest in um the strategy department. So like while their car on paper is, it's not the worst, it's not the best, but their drivers are incredibly strong. Like they have really really good drivers, so they should be going places. But right now, because of their strategy, they're just falling behind, and it's painful to watch. But who knows? They can turn it around potentially, but things are not looking good.
Do you watch
It's
Tiger?
No, no, I don't watch F1. I've never really been like a car guy or racing. I mean, I don't have anything like against it or anything. It's just I've never really like gotten into it. But I mean, Jaden got me into watching kickboxing, so it's probably just a matter of time before I watch some F1.
You're welcome to watch anytime we were watching. We watch them live. We're even doing F1 Fantasy, which is a whole other ball game and a whole other. Oh my god, it's so disappointing. If you
Man,
want to
that
get emotionally invested in five people and uh like really like just root for those five people with all of your heart and then see not only your dreams get crushed, but those five people's dreams get crushed. It's uh yeah, it's an experience.
that's so sad. But I think it's cool to hear you describe it because when you think of sports, it's like, oh, this like this kid out of New York, Baltimore, whatever, like, man, he's been tearing up the courts in his high school basketball games and like the Clippers just got him, and so it's a game changer. Like, it's kind of based on like these specific people's like physical talent. And it's like something that you're born with or the way that you develop it. But it's cool to hear you like as you describe F1. And it's like it depends on how good you built your car. And then if you built a good car, it depends on like the drivers that you hired. And then if you got the good drivers, then it's like depends on the people who are like, the brains of the organization or the brains of the team. Like I think it brings like a different type of like competitive nature to the sport, which I think is really cool to me at least.
And there is some of that too with like Kimi Antonelli right now. He's a new kid from who's signed with Mercedes because the legend Lewis Hamilton has moved to Ferrari, and
Mm,
there was a gap, and this kid, he skipped Formula 3, went straight to Formula 2 because he was that good. He's been trained by uh, Schumacher, one of the greatest in the sport, and he has uh, set a pole position as the youngest F1 driver. So he is the youngest person to have a pole position in F1
mm.
history. Um, and just absolutely prodigy, like really putting in work. Nobody expected him to. He's 18 years old,
Damn.
Wow, that's
so he's
nuts.
still in high school, and he's going across the world driving F1 cars and actually putting in work. Like,
That's cool. Feels like yeah, I don't know if it's just because of you or the people that I hang around with, but it seems like F1 is like kind of it's been gaining a lot of popularity recently. I mean, yeah, so like I don't know anything about it, but I guess there's that F1 movie that's coming out. Um, that yeah, like that, the one of the singers from Blackpink like made an exclusive song for. I feel like I didn't know anything about Formula One like a year ago, and now I hear about it like all the time.
well, it's become more and more accessible, and a lot of like uh, the newer teams are also like because before in the older generations, a lot of the team were like, you have to keep your emotions inside and keep it on the track and be very straight and narrow and all that stuff. And now people are, putting together TikToks. There's like a
Mm,
documentary called Drive to Survive that's become very popular. That has all the behind the scenes stuff, and they go around interviewing the drivers and showing the behind the scenes, the real, off the track stuff. Um, and I haven't watched that personally, but because that's not my particular scene. But I can see how it
mm.
would be incredibly compelling because all of these people are incredibly compelling, and they all have quite the personalities. Even Oscar Piastri, who doesn't show very much emotion, but he, yeah, he's been killing it this season. He's great.
Yeah, that's cool. Maybe Tiger, maybe me and you will have to join Jaden one of these nights and watch one of these races because I mean it sounds fun.
Yeah, for
Seems like a
sure.
Oh
cool
yeah.
time.
I'm down.
Cool. Before we wrap, anything else that you guys been watching, listening to, playing, enjoying this past week?
Yeah, I'm always watching new old movies, stuff like that. I've been really wanting to see Sinners and Thunderbolts, but
Oh
I
yeah, I
haven't
need to see
found a
Sinners.
good way to watch them yet. But yeah, I mean, we're always watching something on like Criterion Channel or something like that. Older stuff, or maybe stuff from like when I was growing up that I didn't get a chance to see. We watched Speed Racer, which just
Hmm.
wasn't on my radar at the time when I was growing up, but it was just awesome. But yeah, I've been playing Clair Obscur still, and I just beat Danganronpa 1, which is like one of those visual novel
Hmm.
murder mystery type things, anime deals, and it's insane, but I really liked it.
I know that, yeah, the lore, the following for those games is like just insane.
Yeah, I feel like Battle Royale or movies like that or anything where it's like kids have to be put in these grim situations, murder mysteries, locked room mysteries, like it gets really fun and stupid.
It's cool. Yeah, I like that. I know that you said this before, like what about your theaters around you suck, Tiger? I know you say you don't like watching theater movies in theaters there.
Yeah, I just live in a podunk little town in Arkansas, and we used to have two theaters, and they were both pretty poor, but you could at least be like, well, I'll go to that one. At least it's a little bit better or something. And I think that one closed down, and like the one that's left, it was like a Cinemark, like legit backed by a real company, and then they like pulled funding or something, and now it's just VIP cinema, you know? So I don't know. It's just poor quality, poorly kept. Um, they've got old screens and audio setups, and just money hasn't been put into them. And I don't know. I guess people around here will go to like 30 minutes or 40 minutes away to another town that has like a real movie theater that you would actually want to spend money, like the Coliseum seating and nicer chairs and stuff like that. So people around here, yeah, they'll just go to the couple towns over to go to a better theater and see it in IMAX or something instead of just wasting their money going, to like the saddest theater you've ever been in.
That yeah, that doesn't sound good. I don't know if I would be able to do that either. When I was watching Thunderbolts, um, there's a theater that's like just down the street from me, across the street from my work, and it's like $7 tickets compared to like $17 AMC tickets. And so me and my friend who I watch movies with, we like to go there because it's cheap. But while I was watching Thunderbolts, I was like, this sucks. Yeah, like the screen is old, the seat is sticky, like it's not worth it. Like,
hmm
Oh,
yeah, it
it's the
was, I mean,
worst when a movie theater is sticky. I cannot stand it.
yeah.
I have a vivid memory from like the 90s, that 90s Godzilla movie, the American one that everyone dislikes a lot. I went to go see it in
Yes.
the middle of summer in this old stank theater. It was sticky floors, it was BO, it was teenagers hollering at the screen. It was
Ugh.
one of the worst movie-going experiences with one of the worst Godzilla movies I've ever seen, and it like that
Oh
smell
God.
sticks in my mind. I can still smell it.
Yeah, I when we were like looking for our seats, like in the nicer theaters, they like have light up numbers. It's like F5, whatever. And this theater didn't have it, and so I turned on the flashlight on my phone. Even the trailers hadn't started yet. I don't feel like I was breaking theater like etiquette. But when I turned the flashlight on the seats, I was like, I wish I wish I didn't see that. It was so gross.
Oh,
Yeah, it was gnarly. Yeah. Anything for you, Jaden, besides Formula One and Muay Thai?
Muay Thai, yeah. I know. I keep meaning to see everything. I still have my AMC Stubs membership, so I get free
Mm.
movies. I just am not watching them. I'm just losing money doing it. I'd
So they
rather
get
even
you.
just like one movie a month puts me positive because it's $20 a month for the subscription. It's $20 for a ticket to a Dolby, um, you know, theater, whatever.
Hmm.
And if I just had that one, I'd be okay with it. But like if I'm not seeing that one bare minimum, then I feel like I'm losing out, and I gotta ramp that up. So I need to see Sinners, and I need to see uh Thunderbolts, and hopefully that'll get me for at least this month.
Yeah. I mean, I hear Sinners. I know very little about it, but I hear that it's like it's good to watch it in like a really nice theater. I know music is a big part of it, so I think yeah, seeing it like the Dolby experience would be great. But
I'm so
yeah,
mad I missed it.
I think
But
I mean,
yeah, I saw the trailer and just blew me away, and I was like, I gotta see that.
mhm. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I highly recommend Thunderbolts. I feel like I'm just joining, the crowd of voices, but um I think I read somewhere that like they described it as like a talkie movie, and less of like an action movie, and I think that's like pretty accurate. A lot of the movie is just characters talking to each other about their trauma, and like you have trauma, I have trauma, and then that becomes like a growing and growing theme throughout the movie. Where I was like, wow, like this is way deeper for a Marvel or even like a Disney movie to get than I ever expected. So highly recommend it. I think yeah, whether it's sooner or later, I think once all the three of us have watched it, I think it'd be really interesting to chat about it, to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, that actually really makes me want to see it more now because that's honestly how I would describe Doom Patrol. Like, and that's one of my
Mm,
favorite shows in terms of superhero stuff.
Yeah, I love Doom Patrol.
And it's not a superhero show at all.
hmm.
But
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but that's kind of like the driving force. Like all these like heroes, anti-heroes, they don't have like a whole lot to bring to the table. And so their connective tissue becomes like their various hurts and things from their past, which and they tie that in to like the antagonist of the film and like the conflict of the film. And so yeah, it's a rich vein to talk about once you guys watch it.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah, I'll have
excited.
to see that this weekend.
Yeah, highly recommend. Um, cool. Anything else? So I think
Mm.
watch F1, listen to Blackpink. Didn't really talk about it here on the pod, but we talked about it for a while among us. Um, yeah, support Kickstarters. Tariffs suck.
Buy stuff. That's the theme of the episode.
Yeah, within your means, within your means. Yeah, so I think that'll do it then for this week. We're gonna try to get into the habit or the rhythm of putting them up on Monday morning, or at least morning for me on the West Coast. So yeah, we'll try to make it kind of a regularly scheduled thing that you can look forward to. And yeah, for those of you that have listened already to the three of us ramble in our first episode, and you've made it to the end of our second episode, we really appreciate you. And yeah, I mean, it's enjoyable for us to talk about, and so hopefully it's enjoyable for you to listen to as well. So Yeah, with that said, this has been Froggy and Friends. Thanks for visiting the pond. We'll see you next time.